Hi, welcome to another episode of Ask Geoff and Lauren. We're here answering your questions about the double bass. So if you have any, please leave one in the comments, and of course you can join us to chat about today's topic. So Lauren, the question is from Jennifer today, and she's saying, how can I treat my wolf tone to make it less obnoxious? It's a great way of putting it. My bass has a vivacious A and A sharp wolf tone that gives me grief when I play the bow, and seems to become worse when the humidity is low. I have one wolf eliminator on my D string for that A sharp on the heel, but my open A string does the hula with hairy abandon. How do I look? By the way, Jennifer, if you don't become a pro bass player, you should become a pro writer. I love the way you write
I
here.
was just going to say, fantastic.
Yeah, so how do I adjust the wolf tone eliminator to make it most effective? And just to give a quick overview, Lauren, before we get into it. So these wolf tones are, I've found them most commonly around the note A and, just above A, and it's often in between notes, somewhere between A flat and B, and, you kind of, particularly I've found that on the A, the one octave harmonic, that note around there for me, when my bass has been having problems, has been that's where I've kind of identified them. I find them less often on other strings, but particularly the A, sometimes the D string, and you should be listening out. And what will happen is when you're bowing, the bass will kind of judder and fight back. I mean, how would you describe the sound? It's quite weird, but you'll know it when you hear it, because the whole instrument doesn't resonate properly.
It doesn't sound
judders.
like it doesn't sound like any other note. It's almost like a wobble, you know? Like
It's kind of
there's like a repetitive sort of thing going on, even though you're just pulling the bow, very steadily. So you'll hear it and you'll feel it too. You can feel it under your finger and under your bow. So it's a little bit of a wobble, and almost every bass has one. Mine is on the A flat-ish, but it also has a difficult time playing the note A. And you'll notice that even if the note doesn't come out as a wolf tone, it might still be kind of tense to play. Like when I'm in solo tuning.
Yeah, it feels tight, doesn't it? And it just doesn't feel like the instrument's opening up and resonating properly.
Yeah, when I'm in solo tuning, in particular, my top string, which then is an A string, just fights me, which is fantastic because I use it all the time. So it's always just a little bit of an issue. As far as the wolf tone eliminator, I'll move mine around a lot. And I found that getting it in different spots will help different areas of the tension, and so you can play with that, play with putting it on different strings, play with putting it closer to the bridge or closer to the winding.
Do you have multiple ones? Do you have one on the D and one on the A?
So, see, I was told that because at one point I did, because my bass was just a mess and so upset about everything and had a lot of issues. And I came back to Robertson's to get it, set up. And I think that was when I got my new fingerboard put on. But I had 2 wolf tone eliminators on there. And I was told that generally if you have more than one, then there's something that's not right, with the setup. And that's another thing, is that it might not just be fixable with the wolf tone eliminator. Moving the sound post might help, which do not do yourself. Get a luthier to do that.
This is the thing that helped me, actually, essentially, is changes of the setup, and particularly the sound post.
Bridge. Bridge is a big one. If you move the bridge, then that can make a huge difference. Even, if you want to help disguise it, sometimes lowering the action will help a little bit. Sometimes raising the action. Bass is weird. But if you can play around with the placement of the wolf tone eliminator, that helps. There's a wolf tone eliminator that I got by, oh gosh, I can't remember. It's called a modulator, and it's basically a magnet with a little cylindrical thing. And you put it on, you put the cylindrical part inside through the F hole, and then the magnet keeps it in place. And I got that one. To be honest, the bass one is humongous, and it made it quite worse. But I found out later that everyone uses the cello model. I think it's the Prince modulator. Anyway, trying a different one might help. this is another instance where I would just go to a luthier and say this wolf tone is out of control.
Hey, listen, if it's going nuts, then you need to get someone to look at that, Jennifer. So, absolutely. Listen, we're going to wrap things up here. I've actually got some work being done right outside the window where I am, so we're going to.
House is being demolished.
Yeah, everyone. Exactly. Yeah, so it might suddenly get a little bit noisy. But thanks so much for your question, Jennifer. It's a great one. Thanks for your answer, Lauren, and we'll see everybody next time.